schools that are supposed to be nice, like the kids at Oak Hill, like, are you working harder than those kids? And then are you working harder than the kid who's a 2-star who's coming and you have no idea who he is, but he coming for all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I worked. I was the 2-star, you know what I'm saying? I was the kid that didn't have no scholarship offers. I was the kid to where I played against John Wall at Boo Williams and nobody knew who I was, but I had 25, 5 and 5 and we won, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's who I was. So some of y'all might be ranked. I know y'all got a couple of kids who's supposed to be nice. So like, understand like why you where you at, but also understand that it's a lot of people who coming for exactly what you got. They want it, especially where I come from. They really want the Nike shit. They want the shoes, the bags. They want to play on TV. They want Roy Williams and all them at their games, and they'll do whatever it takes from a work ethic standpoint to get it.
Yeah, and as far as the game itself, do you have a routine that you do on game day?
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing since 6th grade. Same shooting routine. I've just gotten smarter with where I shoot from and how I do it. But I started in close. I mean, you've seen it. I started in close. I walk my way back to the free throw line. I go around the world, and then I get makes in my spot. So I cut the court in quadrants and I shoot. I do corners, so I might do 3 makes from 15 feet in the 5 spots all the way around. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, whatever that might be, and then I shoot threes in all the spots all the way around. Then I get into a floater series, I get into a pick and roll series, and I get into a trace series where I shoot threes, catch and shoot. And then I started shooting hella threes, so I added like 3 or 4 makes on each quadrant. So left quadrant, I love the left wing, so like I added some there. I added some in the middle, and then I added some on the right quadrant because I like to shoot the tray on the fast break. So pull up right hand, left hand. I'll give you a drop, hang, hezzy, and I'll shoot that, and then I'll shoot a step back. So I just get my makes in the spots I know I'm gonna shoot at, and then when the game comes, it's just like target practice.
Yeah. And as far as the game itself, do you get anxious before games?
I used to. I used to get nervous when I was younger, and I think it's because I wasn't prepared. So like I used to be worried, like, damn, I don't know if I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And then as I started working, I just used to be so excited to play because I knew like this is it. Like I didn't work, I didn't did all I need to do. And this is my chance to prove who I think I am. So like I would be anxious to prove like I'm who I think I am to everybody else. And that's why I used to get excited and like anxious. But now it's like going to work.
Right. And
I was like, I guess I'll put on like a nicer shirt today because it's on TV. Like that's how. Otherwise, I show up in my sweats. I might walk the dog. I'll be FaceTiming my grandma as I'm getting taped for the game. Like I know I'm about to go get 25. Like that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I am. But
right.
I don't get nervous now because don't nobody prepare the way I prepare, and ain't none of these guys built like me. So you're either gonna be on or you're gonna be off. But either way, I'm getting what I want. It's just either gonna go in or it's not, and then I'm gonna go home and live my life and then go do it again the next day.
Like what I texted you the other day when we was talking about the shark, right? What's the quote? I'm a shark.
Man. I'm gonna see what you said, man. But they asked me something, and I was like, look, man, I'm just a killer. Like I don't worry about shit. Like I've never worried about anything besides like how I'm gonna get a scholarship. And then I was like, all right, I got a scholarship now. I'm going to the league. And like that's how I always start. So like when I say I got like a shark mentality, I just hunt and eat. Like I just show up to work and I know that I'm gonna eat. Like I don't worry about how I'm gonna do it. I don't worry about the next man, like what he's doing, how he's living, what awards he got, how much money he make. Like I don't worry about none of that. I just go live my life. I do me. And that's how I feel, and that's how I think, and that's how I move. Like, and that's how I've always, like, you can attest to it. Like I always knew I was nice, and I always felt like I was nice, even before I made my first 100 million. So like, that's just me. Like, that's just who I am. So I think that speaks volumes to like, I'm just a shark. I just go eat and I go home.
Yeah. Last question. I'm gonna let you go. I know y'all got who y'all play tonight.
You got 15. I just need to leave here by 4:30. We play the Sixers on TNT.
Got you. Okay, bet. So now, obviously, these guys, they have aspirations of playing in college. And I remember back in the day, we would talk about it. I tell the story all the time about how we played in Ohio, right? Remember we played. It wasn't Kent State, and the whole thing was starting to blow up junior year or whatever. Well, we was blowing up before then, but junior year was really like, it was go time. And everybody kept asking, how is it that this kid from Ohio, nobody recruited him coming out, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously a lot of kids, even that year, I'm sure you probably heard a story like Ohio State wouldn't play us that year. They didn't want to play us, right?
Yeah.
And so here it is, obviously these kids, they have aspirations. They want to play at like the big schools, right?
Right.
The big schools. And that's the thing. But Lehigh is not necessarily the biggest school at all. But at the same time, I'm trying to get kids to understand that work can be done and the people going to find you no matter where you at, right?
Right. No, that's facts. And I think a lot of times, sorry, I had to strap my boot up.
No, you're good. You're good.
A lot of times we get caught up. I got caught up in it too, man. Like the bells and whistles. Like you see Kentucky playing on TV, you think you got to be one of them. You see North Carolina. Like I was a big Carolina fan. Like I wanted to go to Carolina so bad. I almost transferred to Carolina from Lehigh. I wanted to go there so bad. So you get caught up in it, like the name, the lights, who went there, the prestige. But y'all got to realize that a lot of those guys ain't really like that. Like I'm playing against them every day, and I can tell you, it's only one Anthony Davis, and it's hella Kentucky players that tried to get to the league and it's out the league. Like I'm playing against these guys, and they're not like that. It's hella Carolina players who get to the league and they're weak as hell. So like, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you just work on your game, don't matter where you go to school at. I went to a school that nobody has ever heard of. Literally, I had never heard of them when I went there. And people was like, why are you going there? Like no one's ever gone to the league from there before. And I was like, I'm gonna be the first one, like that. So you look at Dane, he went to Weber, Steph went to Davidson. Like if you're good and you work on your craft, they're coming to find you. If you can shoot the basketball, they're coming to find you. Duncan Robinson, they're coming to find you. So like, go where you're wanted, go where you're needed, go where there's a role for you, go where they show loyalty to you, be the first option. Like I tried to wait around to be somebody's second and third option. And I realized like Lehigh had been recruiting me from the start. They was the second school to offer me after Bowling Green. And I knew where I fit in at. I knew what I was gonna be able to do there. I knew I was gonna be able to get an education. So like for some of y'all is good enough to go to a Kentucky or Duke, and some of y'all are not. Some of y'all belong at a Georgia. Some of y'all probably belong at a Fordham. But you got to know who you are and what type of game you have, and then understand that regardless of where you at right now, like you can develop. I wasn't an NBA player when I got to Lehigh, but I had an NBA player's mentality in terms of work ethic. Like I worked harder than the guys that I'm playing with now. Like I worked harder than them when I was at Lehigh. So then when I got to the league, I was like, damn, so I worked harder than everybody to get here, and now I'm still working harder than everybody. So it's only a matter of time before my work ethic and my talent like catch up and like meet at the same point to where I'm like, I'm a full man out here and my game matches it. So like, don't get caught up in the name of the school, man, because I've seen too many guys fall for the Kentucky Blues and think that they supposed to go there, and y'all know how the saying go, if you stay at Kentucky for more than a year, you in trouble. Like it's a once and done school, and they got a lot of kids who go there and they end up having to stay 2 years, and then it turns into 3, and then it's the next class coming in and they come in to take the minutes. So I'm a get in where I fit in guy. Like my brother has a son, and I told him, I said, we're gonna raise him to be the type of killer to where he go to the SEC just to play against Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be the guy who just going there because my homies is going there. I want to go play against my homies and show them like I'm head honcho. You know what I'm saying? I'm El Chapo out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think if more of y'all had that mentality of like, I can get in and fit in. Like, I could have went to Akron University, and in my head, like we was good enough to get with Kentucky, but they ain't offered me a scholarship, so I couldn't go. But
yeah. right.
That's the mentality. And like you brought it up in the beginning, every school that didn't recruit me, I wanted to play against them. So Kent State didn't offer me right away, right? They offered one of my teammates. And then the next year they tried to offer me. I had 2 guards on my team committed to Kent State when I played for All Ohio Red. The niggas ain't offered me, so I was hot. They offered me a scholarship off the strength. I turned it down. Like, I'm not going there. I'll go anywhere but there. Toledo didn't offer me. Akron didn't offer me. And then you go like bigger picture. My teammate in high school played at Ohio State. So Fat Mata didn't offer me. Rip Pitino came to the school every day. He didn't offer me. the Billy Donovan came to the school every day. He didn't offer me. So I told Coach Reed, I want to play Florida. I want to play Matt Painter at Purdue because he cut me when I tried out for the USA team. I had a list of teams
I remember that. You got cut from the USA. I remember
He
that.
cut me.
Yeah.
And I was the second best player there. And
Scoop Jardine, right? Scoop Jardine made the team.
Shabazz Napier. Shabazz, my man's.
Right.
He wasn't better than me. Ashton Gibbs wasn't better than me. We ended up playing Pittsburgh that year.
Yeah, sure did.
Short, my coach at the Blazers now was there at USAB. He to this day, he like, I can't believe they cut you from that team.
Wow.
But that's how they did me because I went to a small school. But more of the story is I wanted to play all of them schools. In my sophomore year, we played Kent State, and I had 42. I was trying to get 50.
It was Thanksgiving. I remember it. It was Thanksgiving.
I wasn't good enough to get 50 at the time, but I wanted 50 bad. But after that, nobody, no Ohio teams would play us.
Sure wouldn't.
And those schools, they would always, Reed would be like, they said that we'll play you when CJ graduates. And I was like, yep. that's some whole shit.
Yeah, I remember. And so, like, here we are, right? Like, obviously, these kids, they're in high school, my guys, high school guys, but they face injuries too, right? You know, ankles, knees, everything, right? And one of the things I talk about is I remember, I tell them how when you were junior year, we're at VCU, break your foot, remember, drove you to Baltimore, came here, University of Maryland surgery, all that, right? And I'm trying to tell them about mental toughness and being, you know, you got like minor setback, major comeback, right? And so obviously, you know, being injured even now with your foot, you know, how much has that motivated you to get back on the court?
A lot. Like you said before, I broke my foot. So if y'all don't know my full story, I go to school for 3 years. My junior year would be Duke. I declare for the draft. I come back. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to try to take this team to the Elite Eight like Steph did at Davidson. We was like 12-2 playing VCU on CBS. I break my foot in the first half. Like I ain't know.
They didn't want no parts of it either. No, Shaka was shook.
They was picking me up full court, all of that. And we was going to beat them for sure. I break my foot. That's my senior season. My senior season's over. So I'm like, damn, I done broke my foot my senior year. I could have got to the money last year. Like I was devastated. But I just like in my mind, it was like, all right, like this is God just testing you to see what you really made of. So like figure out a way to get through this. So I just worked. I started reading books. I started meditating. I started like really becoming more in tune with who I was as the person at that time and like what I wanted to be. And like that's when you just got to grow up. Like I've been hurt. That was the first time I broke my foot. You fast forward, I go through all the rehab. I go through all the training to get ready. I get drafted 10th overall. I get to Portland. I'm competing for like 6th, 7th man. We traded for Mo Williams at the time. I'm like, you're about to be 6th man or 7th man. I'm backup shooting guard, backup point guard. I break my foot again, same foot, last day of training camp. I go watch my boy win Rookie of the Year, Michael Carter Williams, who I worked out with, that's my boy, but I was busting his ass every day. And I had to watch him win Rookie of the Year. That shit hurt. Like just watching him kill. And I was happy for him, but like the basketball player in me was like, that should be me. You know what I'm saying? Like I should be killing every day in the league as a rookie. Like I should be competing for starters minutes on a team that's got Dame, LaMarcus, Wesley Matthews, Nicholas Batum, all of that. So I go through that, don't play, come back the next year, break my finger on my shooting hand. And then my third year, I get a chance to start. I win most improved player and all of that. But the moral of the story is you fast forward. I've gone through all of that to get to this season. I'm averaging like 28. I'm killing. They have no answers for me. I'm for sure like about to be an all-star, all-NBA, like all of that. And then I break my foot again. Like on a layout. I literally do a layout. I land. Big fella comes under me, goofy mug. Comes under me. Goofy boy. Breaks my foot. They thought it was sprained. So they told me 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, man, I'll be out 2 weeks. And I'll be back to getting buckets and helping my team win. And then another doctor calls us like, yo, you got a foot fracture. So I'm like, fuck. Again, this is my third one. And then at that point, like it just hit me from like a maturity standpoint. Like you've been through this twice. This is a lighter one. Like I'm in a boot until Saturday. It'll be 4 weeks. I get my boot off and I progress back. But just like the mental hurdles that it takes from a depression standpoint, like you go through like the highest of high to like low right away. You feel isolated, you feel secluded, you feel like, why me? And that's fine. Like y'all going to get hurt. You might be hurt now. You're going to get hurt again. It's going to happen. But you have to be able to compartmentalize the injury with, all right, feel sorry for myself. All right, now it's time to go to work. And that's how I've been. Felt sorry for myself. And then I looked at my house, and then I looked at like my cars, my wife. I'm like, why am I really like tripping over something I have no control of? Like, you can't control injuries. You can control how you respond to the injury. And that's how I've always been. It's like, all right, I'm gonna be so good when I come back, they're gonna forget that I was hurt. So like when I tell people the story, they don't even remember that I broke my foot my rookie year, because I've done so much since then. It's like, oh damn, he did break his foot like 8 years ago. Like that's what you want to come